Hello guys and welcome back. So in this video we are going to cover the string and string functions in Python. So without wasting much time, let us get started. So as we all know that string is any sequence of characters written inside of code. So I can write here str1 equals to, let's say, Python, and I can say str2 equals to programming, and this time I am using a different text editor, which is Visual Studio Code. So if you don't know how to set up the Python environment, so you can just write down in the comment section, and I am going to make a separate video on the installation and environment setup. So I can just run the Python program, this Python file, by just simply printing the statement str1. And so here we can see that we have string 1 which says Python, and we have string 2 which says programming. So what if we want to concatenate both the strings? So we can do this in Python, which is called string concatenation, which is very simple. We can just type print str1, and we can use the plus symbol, addition symbol, and write the second string which we want to concatenate. And also if we have more than two strings, then also we can use the same method to do them. And I am going to just run here, and you can see that Python programming. So we cannot see any space between both the strings. So what we can do here is we can add a space here, and okay, so now when we are going to run the file, then you are going to see the space in between both the strings. So this is how you can just concatenate both the strings. Also you can do this without storing them into a variable, but this is a more standard method. So now what if we want to change the case of this string? So Python provides three functions, inbuilt functions, to change the case of our string. We can change it to uppercase, we can change it to lowercase, or we can change it to title case. So what actually title case is, if we have a long string, then each word each alphabet of its first we can say first alphabet of each word is going to be uppercase, and the rest are going to be lowercase. So let us see that by an example. So here I am just going to show you inside of this print method. So first of all we are going to use str dot. So you can see here a lot of inbuilt functions and methods which we can use here. So this is the best part which I like about the Visual Studio Code. So which is you get a list of all the functions which you can use with this string or data type, or any data type which you can just use here. So we are going to use the uppercase. So we are going to just write str1 dot upper, and we are going to just use the bracket as we are using the upper function. So whenever I'm going to just let me just clear the terminal, and okay, so now you can see here that we have changed the case of the string to the uppercase. What we can do is we can just assign this value to any third variable, let us say str3, and let me just run that file again. And now what we can do is we can just print the value of str3. So let me just run it. So now you can see that the value which we have changed to uppercase is now being stored in str3. So let us now use the dot lower method with the str3 variable. So we are going to just print it str3 dot, we can use the lower method, and I am going to just run it. So you can see that now the string is been changed to the lowercase. So let us now write another string which is long enough so that I can show you the title case. So I can just simply write I love Python programming very much. So now what we are going to do here is we are going to just change this string to the title case, and let me just store it in a, or let me just print out. So print, and let me just run this. So now you can see that each first alphabet of the word is being changed to uppercase and the rest is changed to the lowercase. So this is how you can change the case in Python. Also, if we want to add some space between the strings, so we can do that with the special characters. We can say, let us see here. So if I want to add a space, a tab space between all these letters, so what I can do is, let me just first remove all of them. So now when I'm going to run the file, so you can see that there is not any space between all of this. So what it does is it takes this entire string as a single word and just changes it its first alphabet, which is I, to uppercase. You can see it here very clear. So if we want to add tab space, then we can just simply use \t. So you can see that the text is highlighted, that means it is a predefined keyword. And now when we are going to run the file, then you can see that it adds a tab space here. The amount of tab spaces is such that you can add it inside of your Visual Studio Code or any text editor. You can set how much spaces you want a particular tab space to be. We are going to cover that in the future videos. So I am going to add another tab space here, one more here, and let us add two more. Okay, now when I'm going to run the file, so here you can see that we have successfully added the tab spaces between the words. Also you can use the /n, which is for the new line. It is called a new line character. So what it does is it is going to print the words in on the new line. You can do it with a long string also. So I'm just going to run the file, and you can see this, I love Python programming very much. So that was all for the spaces. Also we can use the stripping method. So stripping are used for stripping the spaces. So let me just write another string. We are going to call it str5, and what we are going to do is we are just going to write hello world, and I'm going to just give it a space on either side. So okay, we haven't printed it yet. That was a very silly mistake. And let me just run the file. So you can see that here we have a space on the left and right side of the string. You cannot see the space on the right side, but we do have a space here. So what we can do is, if we want to just strip off the white spaces, then we can use the inbuilt strip method. So what we can do here is we can just say str5, the name of the variable in which we have stored our string to be stripped, dot strip, which is the strip method, which is going to strip the white spaces from either side of the string. So let me just run the file, and now you can see that we have successfully removed this blank space from both the sides. So that was for the stripping of space from either side. Now if we want to just strip off the space from the left side, so we can just simply use lstrip instead of the strip method, and it is going to strip the left space from our string. And same you can do with the rstrip, which is going to strip the white spaces from the right hand side. Now we are going to see a important function which you are going to come across a lot. which is the str function. So the str function is used to convert any data into the string format. So let me have a variable called num, and let us have 56 as its value. So now when I'm going to just print out the type of the num variable, and when I'm going to run the code, so it says that it is a type of an integer. So now what we can do here is we can just say num1 and set it to str, and we are going to say num its value. And now if we check the type of num1 variable, so let us say print num1, and here we have to write type. Okay, so let me just run the file again. So now you can see that it changes its type, which was initially integer, and now it's being changed to string type. So this is the main benefit of using the str functions, is that you can change any data type from any native type to a string type. And that was all for this video. So if you really like the video, then don't forget to like this video, share and comment on the video. So that's all. Thank you.